Hey everybody, I'm Steph.
I'm Michael.
Today we're checking out Sancori.
From Osprey Games.
Yes.
This game plays 1 to 4 players and has a box playtime of, 150 to 180 minutes.
Yeah, you're in for a doozy.
Yeah.
It's a long one.
It's a long one.
It's going to be a long teach, and it's going to be a long playthrough, so we're going to do 2 separate videos. So you found the teach part of our video.
Right, and then we'll do the playthrough after that. Now, we will do the setup, because the setup, I got to say, it's 32 steps long. So I'm going to walk you through setup in case you need it. But before I do, let me say thanks to Osprey Games for providing us this copy of Sancori. But they didn't give it to us in exchange for this video. They gave it to us because they know we like to play
all the games.
So let's get into setup while I teach you
all the rules. All right, it's big, so
watch this. Boom. The camera is up as high as it can go.
Dad said, step 1, pack a lunch. Step 33, eat the lunch.
Eat the lunch. So, game board on the table. It's divided into 4 areas. You've got astronomy, theology, mathematics, and law. Place the library board just wherever you could fit it on your table. This is the introductory game where you have 3 shelves. The other side of this library has 6 shelves where you are placing things onto either the large shelf or the small shelf. I will mention how the scoring differs in each. I got it. We have placed these tiles on top of the library board just to maximize our space. With 2 and 3 players, you're going to need to place the student cues to cover up what the 4-player version has directly printed on the board. So place those on the board. Place the book and prestige tokens into the 4 green scoring boxes in each area of the board. In each of those areas, you're going to put 4 prestige tokens matching the indicated discipline and 1 of each type of book token. For example, if we're talking about the theology region here, they want you to put 1 of these tokens onto each of these 4 green areas labeled A, B, C, and D. There's an A, B, C, and D in each of these areas of the game board. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. So, and then you're going to put these books. Notice that there's an orange, a blue, a teal, and a purple book in each of these major sections. Purple, teal, orange, blue. Purple, teal, blue, orange, as you can see. Going around, we got those around here. So, and you'll notice that each of these areas also has these prestige tokens that match the color of the area in which they're in. So, you're also going to place 2 prestige tokens onto each student queue. So, you'll notice the blue student queue has, or the teal student queue has the 2 little teal prestige tokens on those spots, and we'll talk a little bit about those later. Add all the remaining book tokens to the bag. Draw 13 of them and put them in the theology area where you see these little multicolored book icons. So you're just going to fill up all of these spots here. That's 4, 7, 10, 13 books. And all of these are done with this handy dandy black draw bag that they have provided in the game. We had larger ones, so we used those instead. So, add all the remaining prestige tokens to the bag. Draw 8 and place them on the matching spaces of the leftmost 4 cities of the astronomy area. Over here, 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. Notice over here, you've got multicolor prestige tokens where you can select one from among those left over. And so those are available over there. Depending on the number of players, you're going to put little student meeples into the bag. The student meeples look like this in the 4 different colors. So you're going to put, with a 2-player game, you're going to put 5 meeples per color. 3 players need 6 meeples per color. 4 players need 7 meeples per color. You're going to put those all into the cloth bag and then draw them out one by one, placing them in those 4 student queues, placing them from left to right and not placing them over the little +1 in each area. So Steph drew out 5 of them and we put a teal and a blue and an orange and a teal and a blue onto these 5 spots of the student track, and then did the same with these areas over here. Now, because there are 5 per color, all 20 of them are in those 4 queues. So then place the graduation tiles like so. You'll notice that these little graduation tiles have from 1 to 4 prestige points on them, and you will just place them in the corresponding spaces from 1 to 4 going up. Separate out 4 of the Sankoré tiles that are marked like this, and they look really similar to ones that look like this. They are, in fact, different ones. One is a coin-looking thing with this icon on it, and the other one is the icon itself. You want the ones with the little coin and the single arrow pointing over like that. Where did I pull this from? There it is. And you're going to place those 4 tokens here on what is called the Sancori Madrasa in this little mathematics area. So you'll see where these 4 tokens go. You'll just put 1 on each of those. Hey, we're up to step 12. You're going to place the 12 Sankoré tiles showing prestige on both sides into a general supply. Steph, if you would hand one over to me so I can show what those look like. So you will notice here is one of the teal ones. It's got prestige token on one side. Oh, hey, it's a prestige on the other side. So all the ones that look like that, you are just going to put off to the side. There should be 12 of them, 3 per color. Then you're going to take all the 12 remaining ones, put them in the cloth bag, and then put them 4 in each of these sections. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, it just so happens that all of the ones with inspiration are over here, Steph. That's weird. How that worked out like that. You didn't even notice that.
I guess we gotta go there to be inspired.
Yeah, each of these has a little ability in the middle of them, and it just turns out that all of them just randomly happen to be over here. So, hey, we're done with 12 of these setup steps. 13 of them rather. Sort all of the skill tiles into stacks and place them next to the game board. That one is where are the skill tiles, Steph?
These right here.
Oh. So sort these out. You see how well we sorted them out. Actually, meaning we did not.
I mean, you're not gonna need them a whole lot just when you do this.
Exactly. So you're gonna have little inspiration tokens, which look like this. You're gonna have little salt tokens, which look like this. Gold tokens, which look like this. And you're just gonna place those all on the side. And you're also gonna have just favor tokens off to the side as well. So, sort out all of your advanced class tiles into 12 stacks by discipline and level. So you will notice, let me show you the law tiles. All of the level 1s will look like this, and they'll have, basically this shows where you can place these tiles on your player boards. So because it's level 1, you can place this anywhere you want on the first, second, or third rows. So you're going to shuffle all of those up, put them in a stack like so, and take the top one on the stack and place it underneath. Then you're going to do the same for all of the level 2 tiles. You'll notice the level 2 tiles can only be placed on the top 2 levels of your little pyramid here. You're going to shuffle those up and place one underneath like so. So level 1, level 1, level 2, level 2. There's only one level 3 of each type. And you'll notice it can only be placed on the top of your pyramid, and those will just go at the very tip top like so. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, just like that. So, each player is going to get a player board like so, and a resource board. I don't know why they didn't come connected in the box. Maybe it might have made it too wide for the box. You are going to have to punch out all of these little spots and these little areas for books. The little pieces that you punch out are indeed trash. You do not need to save them, but you may want to keep them for prototyping bits if that is your jam. Determine a first player at random and give them the first player token. Steph is the first player of the game, so she has the first player token right there. Each player should have all of the components of their player color, which will include 7 crowns, 7 mosques, 7 trading posts, and 7 wall pieces. Give the favor disc. Place the favor disc on the starting space of the favor track, which is up there. Steph has hers on top of my piece, so I've got my piece buried right underneath there. Place your camel on the Timbuktu space. So Steph's camel and my camel are sitting there talking down there in Timbuktu. If there are fewer than 4 players, you're not going to need all of the other player components. Take a number of favor tiles equal to the number of players. So we have 2 players, so we've got 2 of these favor tiles. Each of the favor tiles has a little double X sort of configuration, and you're going to place those on the bottom 2 rows of your resource track, like so. That's going to block off spaces that you can use to place these little prestige tokens in. If you fill this up with favor tokens, you're not going to be able to hold prestige tokens, so keep that in mind. You're going to shuffle up all of the objective cards that look like this. You're going to deal 4 to each player. And Steph said, oh, we need to choose some of these and discard the rest. No, you get to keep all 4 of those objective cards. Pretty fantastic. You're going to take 1 set of introductory class tiles, 1 for each discipline. Mathematics, theology, astronomy, and law. And you're going to put them at the bottom of your board down here. You can put them however you want to put them. So I've just got mine in an order down here. Each player will take 1 inspiration token, 2 gold tokens, and 1 salt token. Now you notice how I've got them in the resource storage area. Notice I can hold only 4 salt. I can hold at maximum 6 gold, and at most I can hold 2 inspiration tokens. Then we're going to set up for the starting draft. Place a starting meeple, a student meeple of the matching color onto these bottom 4 level 1 advanced class tiles. So I've got a blue guy on the astronomy over here. I got a little theology student on the theology tile, a math student on the math tile, and a law student on the law tile, just like that. Then you're going to take 1 of each color book, randomize them, place them onto these 4 tiles along with the student. Here's the catch. You cannot have the same color book on the same color tile, so this would never happen. If for some reason you draw one out that doesn't belong, put it on the next one, or if you've managed to draw them in such a way that your last tile has that book, just flip-flop a couple of them, just so you have a setup where no one book matches the tile that it is on. Then, starting with the first player, which is Steph, and proceeding clockwise, which is to me, we're going to choose one of these combinations of advanced class tile, book token, and student meeple. Steph decides to take the blue one with the blue student and a teal book. I'm going to take the teal one with the teal student and the orange book. This is where we place these. The orange book goes here. Now, you'll notice there's a spot for exactly 3 books. You cannot place them this way and fit more books onto your bookshelf. No. Although I did make a joke about that the first time we played.
Fit at least 9.
You will take your advanced class tile and place it anywhere on that first row of your player board. And it may be placed on any space on that. It says the second row. Really, it's the first advanced tile row. Then you're going to take your little student and place it underneath where your introductory class is for that color. If you want, you can, after you've drafted this, you can change where all this stuff is and correspondingly where your starting off student is. So if I did not like this setup, I could, at this point, change it. Fill in all of the gaps, just like so. Now, Steph has already taken those books and put them back into the pile. These 2 students, poof, they're out of the game.
They did.
We do not get to use them.
So rude.
So, that is the 32 steps of setup. You are now ready to begin the game.
No, you're allowed to learn the game.
Now
that
you can learn.
17 minutes.
And I want to make sure that you get this first part right with how you randomize all of these things.
Hey, Jelvia.
So, we're going to play this over a series of player turns, starting with Steph and moving towards me. On your turn, you're going to carry out the following steps. The first, what you're going to do is you're going to take up the 2 different main actions and any number of bonus actions in any order. And then you're going to perform all of the end of turn checks. And we're going to keep going with that until we have filled up all 12 spaces in the Sankoré Madrasa. That will trigger the end game. So, and at the end of the game, how we have distributed the books in the library is going to influence how much each of these prestige tokens is worth. So, during some of your actions, you're going to unlock Sancori tiles. Whenever you unlock one of those, immediately place it in the lowest numbered available space in the Sankoré Madrasa. For example, if I were to acquire this by placing up here in the Theology section, I'll explain how to do that in a second. Whenever you get this, you are going to place this in the lowest space, which currently is this one right here. You don't have a choice of where to put it. It's going to go right here. And then you are going to take the placement bonus shown on this tile, which is activating all of the bonus spaces in one of your colors, whatever color you want to do. So, and then that is, they keep talking about, whenever they talk about placing this in the Sankoré Madrasa, they say put it prestige side down. That prestige side looks like this. So you want to make sure to put it face up, basically. Place each of these tokens face up when you place them in the Sankoré Madrasa. Notice that all of these are currently face up as well. So, as I'd mentioned before, we are going to be placing books into the library. They correspond to those 4 disciplines. Just like there are 4 different disciplines for the students. Like I've got a law book right here. Occasionally, actions that we take are going to say, hey, you need to contribute a book to the library. So whenever you do, you're going to take a book and you're going to place it on one of these 3 shelves of the library in the leftmost position of that row. You get to choose which row to put it on. Of course, at the start, it's not going to matter. But after I've placed the first book, and then Steph comes along later, she might want to put her teal book in the same row as that book. She might want to put it on a different row, just start a new row of books. But you do not have to fill, you do have to fill each row up from left to right. You do not have to fill them up in any certain way from top to bottom. Whenever you gain one of these prestige tokens, you're going to place it onto your resource board. However, your storage is limited depending on how many favors you have taken. As I mentioned before, the more of these favor tokens you have, the less and less space you have to put prestige tokens. And those are going to be worth points at the end of the game. If you have to take a prestige token and there are no tokens of that type, you get nothing. The same is true with books. If you're supposed to get a certain type of book and there are no books over in the supply, you cannot get that color of book. So let's talk a little bit about those two different main actions that you can take on your turn. The player card is really good for this. As you can see, it says take up to 2 different main actions. Well, one of the things you can do is to enroll a student. How do you enroll a student? Well, you're going to take the rightmost student from one of the student queues and place it underneath the introductory class on your player board. If that spot is not available, you cannot take that student, nor can you place it underneath a different class. So currently, I've already got a little teal guy below the introductory math class, so I can't take this little teal guy over here. If you choose a student that has a little favor icon, the favor icon looks like this. Steph likes to say that sound it makes when you get that is that. It's the 2 hands holding a little sun or a ball or something. So if you ever hear Steph make the little sound, then that is she's taking a favor.
You can see it on this track too. It's pictured.
Yes,
there.
A big favor mark right there. Oh, hey, that's the favor track.
How about it?
How about that? If the student you chose had that icon underneath it, and that's always this second one this direction on the 2-player boards, then you get to do an exchange of favor action. I'll talk about the exchange of favor action in a minute. That does not count as one of your main actions. So you could exchange a favor as one of your main actions as well. That is a free bonus exchange of favor action. If the student you chose had a book icon, which you will see right here, if it had a book scoring icon to the left, we're going to do what's called a book majority scoring at the end of that player's turn. That's always this 3rd student, the middle student in these queues, on those 4 student queues in a 2-player game. If the student you chose had one of these little gear icons underneath it, it looks like a prestige token and a flattened token. It looks like a token is basic. It looks sort of like this, that little icon here. That means that you are going to get that matching Sankoré tile, these double-sided prestige tokens that we had you put aside at the start, and you're going to place it in the Sankoré Madrasa in the lowest numbered spot again, as I mentioned earlier. And you're going to get a prestige token because, hey, remember, when you put anything in this Sankoré Madrasa, boom, you're going to get whatever the placement effect is.
Good.
If the student you chose had a prestige scoring after it, which is always this final student in our queue, we're going to do a prestige majority scoring at the end of the player's turn. So that's all there is to enrolling a student. The second thing you can do as a main action is to establish an advanced class. Whenever you are wanting to establish an advanced class, you must contribute a book to the library. That's one of the ways that you can make those color prestige tokens worth more. So if I put this orange book over here, I'm going to make orange prestige tokens worth something at the end of the game, hopefully.
Maybe.
Hopefully, as long as I've put enough of them down there.
Yeah.
Now, if I contribute an orange book, what kind of class can I establish?
Orange.
I can do an orange class, which is a law class.
Law.
I can take any one of these tiles. I can take a level 1, I can take a level 2, or I can take a level 3. If it is revealed, I can take it. So, but you can only place them in certain places. The level 1s, level 3s have to go up here, level 2s down below, and level 3s up here, level 2 anywhere in the top 2, level 1s anywhere. So, if you obviously if you cannot contribute a book of that discipline, you can't take that tile and create it, the class, and create it here. If you take one of the classes that it leaves a hole, just refresh so that there are always 2 of these level 1 and 2 of each color available at all times. Let's see. So yeah, you can, if I wanted to take this and place it up top, I can do so. It doesn't matter that there are no classes underneath it. However, those students are going to have a hard time getting to that class without other classes to take before it. But you can indeed do so. So how do you get students to move up on those tracks? Well, that is the third of the 5 main actions, and that is teach a class. There is a certain set of steps that you have to follow. The first thing you do is to choose a class with at least one student meeple that is underneath one of your classes. Then you're going to want to activate that student, move it onto the class tile. Then you're going to activate any matching skill tokens. If you are teaching an advanced class, you're going to also activate the skill tokens that are in that section. For example, let's say that my student were right here and I wanted to teach this mathematics class. I will move this student here. Hey, that student matches. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to get to activate all of these bonus tokens here. Oh, wait, I don't have any bonus tokens. I should probably try to work on getting some of those if I want to take a lot of those types of actions. So the next thing you're going to do is to take the student reward. All class tiles show a student reward. You're going to gain this reward only if the student matches the discipline. Now, let's say that an astronomy student was taking this mathematics class. I do indeed get the bonus tokens. I do not get this special student bonus because the student here does not match the color of the tile. So the next thing you're going to do is the area action in the board area matching that discipline. So if you're teaching a mathematics class, you're going to do some action in this mathematics area. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second. And then the final thing that you do is you're going to promote that student. So if, let's say I had this little green guy here, let me put this meeple back where I found him. You'll notice he can go to the left or to the right of his class. So I can place him here underneath where this class is going to be, or I can place him over here where this class is going to be. Now, let's say someone comes up behind him, like that blue student I was talking about earlier. I cannot put him over here to the right. This is not a valid move because I can't go to the right-hand side of this guy. I can go specifically to this space or this space, and that's it. So he would have to go here.
Dan had a comment.
Dan had a comment. Oh, great moments in pedagogy. The invention of the prerequisite. Yes. So, always do those steps in that order. If there is no place to move that student, I believe it disappears. Let me look. Yeah, the activated student is returned to the box. So if these two spots are both taken, and I'm teaching this class to this student, and there's no place to move him to, boop, he goes to the box. Don't do that. It's probably not going to help your score out a lot.
Use an inspiration token first.
So let's say this was all the way up at the top, and you taught this class. Then where is up from here? You can go to one of these 4 areas right here. Hey, those are going to be worth 1 prestige token worth. You do not actually get the prestige token. He is just worth 1 teal prestige token at the end of the game, if he is in one of these 4 spots.
Hopefully you graduate him.
Hopefully you graduate him, but we'll talk about graduating here in just a second. So, there are, now the rules are really, they don't describe this very well, what I'm about to tell you, and that's a subject called supported classes. So, let's say that, let's go ahead and set up this scenario here. I've got a teal guy right here and a purple guy right here, which have both moved up underneath this advanced class. And I move my little teal guy onto here to take this class. Or I'm teaching this class to this teal student. So, whenever you are doing an area action, some things on these areas require that you have a supported class, meaning there are 2 students, according to the rules, there are 2 students below that class. Now, think about the steps that I taught you for when you're teaching a class. There cannot be 2 spots available. You moved a student onto that tile. Best we can gather, this setup is a supported class. A student on the tile and 1 more student underneath the tile. The rules do not give a good example of this, unfortunately. But to the best of our knowledge, this what you see here is a supported class. This what you see here now is not a supported class because there are no students underneath. You need at least that 1 extra student underneath. So, so there is going to be 1 student that's going to be activated and moved up at the end of this teaching of the class, but the second student might enter the class during the area action step. I have not seen which of these areas would cause that to happen, but supposedly it still counts as a supported class. I think that's a little bit of an edge case, but just in case it happens to you, all of that information is on page 12 of the manual. All right, the 4th thing that you can do is to graduate a student. Graduating students pretty easy. Choose one of your students on your player board. They cannot be in the bottom row. You'll notice on your player board, as you start moving up, you'll see a 1-star graduation, a 2-star, a 3-star, and a 4-star graduation. If I can bring up one of these to show y'all how these look, you'll notice that you've got a little 1-star graduation. If they're on this row, you'll notice that if they've advanced to this row, they can have a 2-star graduation. And if they keep moving up through the steps, they could have a 3-star or 4-star graduation. So you're going to choose one of your students that are in your university. You must contribute a book matching that student. So if I want to graduate this teal student, I need to have a teal book in my possession, which I will contribute to the library. Then I will take, let's see, my teal guy is on level 1 of my row. I'm going to take the level 1 graduation tile. This is now not available for anybody else. I'm going to put my student on it, and I'm going to put this at the top of my board where I really don't have any room, unfortunately, but you'll notice there are little notches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 notches where you can place these graduation tiles.
Yeah, you just came to the side.
Yes. So now Steph cannot graduate her teal guy that's on that level 1. She could go up to level 2 and graduate 1. Now let's say I did take a level 2 teal because I had moved that teal guy up to this next row and I wanted to take this. And Steph did a level 2 teal guy on a future turn. She would have to take the level 1 graduation. You could take that level or below. Hello, bow hunter. So that is how you graduate. Now notice this is going to be worth, if I take this level 2 teal, that's going to be worth 2 teal prestige tokens at the end of the game. You don't actually take the prestige tokens. It's just going to be worth that much at the end of the game. Little historical note, whenever people would graduate, they would get a turban of different colors or styles based on the level of graduation that they had. So it's sort of interesting. They all look the same on these tokens, but that is a pretty cool historical note that they get different turbans based on how high they graduate. If a player takes the last graduation tile from the 4 that are available, notice all 4 of these blues are now gone, you're going to get one of those little flat tokens and place it in the Sankoré Madrasa as I talked about a little bit ago. And it's going to match that color. So if the blue ones are gone, I'm going to take the blue one, I'm going to put it in the Sankoré, and I'm going to get a blue prestige token. And I actually do get the prestige token to put into my resources.
Provided there is one.
Provided there is.
I might take them all.
Finally, the final action you could take is to exchange a favor. Now, when I say exchange a favor, that means I can take a favor or I can return a favor. If I'm returning a favor, that's pretty easy. I'm going to take one of my favor tokens and I'm going to throw it back into the supply. Hey, look, I've got more spots available on my resource track. So I can fit more of those tasty prestige tokens. If I want to take a favor, that's going to give me some sort of benefit. Steph, if you would move my favor token over to some random spot further on up. So to take a favor, I have to take one of these favor tokens and block off 2 of my spaces. And then I can take why did you get more than me?
I'm working on it harder.
Oh, that's rude. I could take that 2 salt there, or I could take a free advanced class and place it here without contributing a book.
That's so nice.
Or I can take 2 gold, or I can take a student of any color, if provided it is available.
I think you've got all the students.
I have all the students?
Yep.
Or I have the students?
They're in there.
Oh.
It's fine. Get them later.
How about now?
Okay.
So I don't have to get them during the game. Put those over there. Okay. Or I can get a book of any color, provided it's available. Or I can get... No, that's just silly. Why would I get 1 gold or 1 salt when I could get 2 gold or 2 salt?
Yep. So,
whenever you advance up the favor track, it will be something that looks like this. This means advance up the favor track, and that is how you can get better and better favors as you go. So those are the 5 main actions that you can take. There are also some bonus actions that you can take, and a lot of times they're going to cost you inspiration tokens. So one bonus action is to transfer a student. So let's say that I had one of my blue guys go up and take this blue class, and he's just sitting here. He's just sitting here doing nothing over here because there's no class up here. I can spend an inspiration token, which is the little candle here, and then I can transfer him horizontally to any of the available spaces. So, hey, now I can do a supported class over here with this little guy. Another bonus action that you can take is to promote a student. That is how you can move a student up without actually teaching a class for them. So I could take this little blue token and move him as if he had taken the class, exiting out one side or the other on these tiles. Notice these on the left and right, there's only one place they can go to. So keep that in mind. So to promote a student, there has to be a class here. I could not have taken this guy here and promoted him through this non-existent class because there is no class here. You cannot promote him in that way. The final bonus action that you can take for inspiration is to write a book. And to write a book, you need to have inspiration, spend an inspiration token, and claim any of the books that are in the supply. Supplies. Now, the final bonus action you can take does not require inspiration. You can just complete your objective cards. Hey, remember those 4 objective cards that we had at the start of the game? Well, if you have completed some kind of objective, then you are going to get some kind of ongoing benefit. This benefit happens whenever I'm doing something with the law action, and I'm going to get an astronomy bonus prestige at the end of the game. I don't actually get a prestige token for this. It is actually worth 1 blue prestige.
It's worth going for them, even if you don't want the
even if you don't want them, yes.
Yeah, because the points are always good.
Yes. Now you're going to actually stumble across these as you go.
Yeah.
So you can do those bonus actions before or after or between your main actions, but you cannot interrupt a main action with a bonus action. So now remember when I was talking about teaching a class and I said you're going to take an area action of that type? For example, when I am teaching this mathematics class, by taking any color student and moving them through that class, well, I'm going to take that corresponding area action. Now, as you see, I've got a blue guy that is in this action. That doesn't mean I take one of the blue area actions. I'm teaching a math class. I'm going to be doing one of these mathematics actions.
Yeah.
Let's talk about each of these types of actions. So, each of these area actions are going to place these tokens on that are coming from your player board. Crowns, mosques, trading posts, and wall pieces. The trading posts are going to be placed in the astronomy area up here. Mosques are going to be placed in the theology. Wall pieces over here in the math area. And the crowns are going to be placed in the law area. Now, each of these spaces has a requirement that's going to cost you some number of knowledge points. You've got 3 ways of getting knowledge: school knowledge, shared knowledge, and sometimes a class bonus. So, how much school knowledge do you have? Well, that is based on how many times you have taught the class. So, let's say that I have this little blue guy. He's going to take this little intro class to astronomy. I don't have any school knowledge, but if I had previously placed 3 of these trading posts, hey, look, I've got 3 school knowledge now. Additionally, Steph and I both have shared knowledge. That's based on how many students we've taken from this queue. Notice it's +1 now. But if Steph were to take this little purple guy, we now have 2 shared knowledge. So you'll also notice that some classes will give you class knowledge. If I send one of my mathematics students through this class, I would get +2 but only for this math class. So I would get an additional 2 knowledge for that. So calculate up the combination of your school knowledge and your shared knowledge and any available class knowledge, and that's how much total knowledge points you have. Now, I don't have anything on these little intro classes. These intro classes, all they do is obviously, this is going to match because you can't have different colors of students going through these classes. So a blue guy is going to go through this blue intro class. It's going to push you up on the favor track, as you can see. I don't have any additional class knowledge, but I do have 3 knowledge here and 2 knowledge here, which gives me 5 knowledge I can spend in the astronomy area. You'll notice each of these board sections is going to cost some amount of knowledge. Knowledge to move along the astronomy paths. Knowledge to place mosques in certain areas in these cities. Knowledge to place wall pieces in the Sankoré madrasa. Knowledge to place these crowns onto these bonus token spaces. And you'll notice that they start off with low knowledge here at the bottom, and they move up as you get higher and higher on these areas, or farther and farther over on the wall section, or higher and higher in these mosque sections, or farther out for the astronomy section.
No, I don't think they explicitly say it in the rules. Like that was one thing. Like they just skipped over it.
No, they do say it, but it's at the beginning of everything.
Okay.
And then they talk about the specific actions.
Got it.
So, let's talk a little bit about the astronomy area action. That's where you're moving your camel along these paths, and then you can optionally create a trading post wherever you end up. Highly recommend it, because remember, the more trading posts that you have placed out there on the board, the more of these area majorities you are going to have. And this is big on area majority. All of this is big on area majority. So the more knowledge you're going to gain and the more majority you're going to get out on the board. So what you're going to do is, let's say I had 5 to spend. I can go 2 here and 2 here. Well, I don't have another 1 to spend, so that's where I would end up. If for some reason Steph were here or Steph's trading post were here, I could not even stop on that space. So that would not be available to me. So I would have to move on. So I would pay, I had the 4 knowledge, so that's good. I can pay 1 gold to get 2 salt. And then I put my little trading post on that spot. Now you might wonder, what are these little numbered flags? I'm not even sure you can see them on the video, but there are numbered flags over each of these trading post areas. That is going to be used in case of tiebreakers for majority. So just keep that in mind. So I've placed my trading post down and I collect my salt. If I don't have enough room in my resource area, then I'm going to have to just give that salt up. If this were partially or fully filled with salt, so I could not get both salt. So, if you go to one of the 8 port cities at the edge, you have to not only pay the amount that it shows, 2 gold for some of these cities, 3 gold for these cities over here. You also have to have a supported class. Notice the little, it looks like 2 little students holding hands down here in the corner. If you ever see a symbol like this, this means you must be teaching a supported class. You can't have supported classes in these intro classes down here at the bottom. You can only have supported classes on these advanced classes. So I'm not going to be able to get any of those port cities unless I'm doing a supported class. Now, let's say that I did make it finally over here to Suakin, for example. I'd have placed trading posts down as I go. If I had 3 gold and a supported class, I can choose any of these 3 port spots and take the associated bonus. Now, you'll notice the bonus over here. Not only is it a prestige token, it is also any one of these wall sections, including this blue one up here in the corner. I will talk more about that in a minute, but this is the only way to place a wall section in that corner, is by one of these 2 bonus spaces here. As soon as you place something in a port city, poof, your camel comes back to Timbuktu. So, the only other thing you need to remember about the astronomy area is once you pass over one of these little dashed lines, you are going to automatically get the associated token that's on the path. You know what the drill is. You're going to take this token, you're going to put it in the lowest numbered space in the Sankoré Madrasa, and you're going to take the bonus. And in this case, it is to do the favor action, so you can either take or return a favor. So that is that everything? Did I leave anything out on the astronomy area, Steph?
Don't think so.
I think I got it. The only way to teleport back to Timbuktu, I believe, is to place a trading post out in one of the port cities. Each of the spaces, I should mention this, each of these port city spaces can be claimed by one player, but the same or different players could put a trading post on a different space in that port city. So I could claim both of these spots in this port city. It's only these little, these are called oases. These little oasis spots are spots that can only be claimed by one single trading post. All right, let's talk a little bit about the theology area action. So those let you place mosques in empty spaces on these areas. Basically, you've got Timbuktu, Aronain, Kumbi Saleh, Oudagost, etc. And it's going to cost you some number of knowledge in order to place the mosque there. So if I had 2 knowledge on theology, I could take my bottommost mosque and place it here. It's going to cost me 1 salt, and I'm going to get a book for that as long as I have a spot to put that book. So if for some reason I already have 3 teal books, maybe I want to consider going up here to this purple book for 1, or this blue book for 1. Maybe I can't afford these 3 spots. The higher up you move into these spots, the more it's going to cost. So it's 1 salt down at the bottom, 2 salt as you move up, 3 salt, and a supported class for this top level. In addition, when you get that top level, you are going to get to place the Sankoré Madrasa tile, and depending on which side of this that you have taken, the 8 or the 9, you might get a bonus tile that provides prestige tokens, or you might get what is this one here, Steph?
Put the guy over here.
Oh, yes, I remember now. Place one of the student pieces into this area. Does it come from the supply?
No, it has to come from your board.
Has to come from your board.
Or from an already graduated.
Oh, you could take one of your graduates.
Yes.
Oh, but it doesn't take away the points.
Right.
You keep the points. So what you should do, graduate your person, then take that person off and place it over here. This specifically is an orange student, a purple student, a teal student, a blue student. One of each color can go here because this is the only way to place things over in this area.
Right.
When you place one down, you are going to get some number of prestige tokens. Oh, no, the number. What is that, Steph? Help me out.
Prestige tokens equal to the color of the meeple equal to the number face down in the mathematics area.
Face down in the maths area. So if you have this face down, then you're looking for teal. If I've placed a teal down, I'm going to get one teal prestige token because there's one of these that is face down. Now, obviously, these are double-sided. These are automatically face down as you put them in.
Yep.
So that would now be worth, if I put a teal down, I'm going to get 2 prestige tokens. It is a really good way to get prestige tokens really quickly.
Now they are limited even still, so.
But you still have to go up to the top of these mosque tracks.
That's not easy.
The first player that places in the top, notice that there are 2 spaces on each of the tops. The first player is the one who gets the bonus Sancori Madrasa token. Let's talk a little bit about the mathematics area action. Those let you place wall pieces around the perimeter. There are 2 horizontal walls, A and C, A on top, C down here. And there are 2 vertical walls, B and D. They will cost some number of knowledge points to place a wall piece. It's important to note, if I have 3 knowledge, I can't place 2 wall pieces, a 1 and a 2. I can place it on the 3 or the 2 or the 1, but I can place 1 wall piece. I can place 1 mosque. I can place 1 trading post. I can place 1 crown. So you can't split up those knowledge points. The only thing you can really split up knowledge points for is on the astronomy board as you are moving, 2, 5, 8, as you're moving along the paths. That's really the only way you can split up knowledge points for any of these things. So let's talk about the mathematics area. Each of those math spaces requires you to contribute to the library. So if I place down here, not only do I have to have the knowledge, I also have to...
It's not to the shelf, it's to the discarded.
Each space requires you to contribute to the library. Spaces in the horizontal walls cost 1 book of any discipline. Spaces in the vertical walls cost 2 books of 2 different disciplines. So yes.
It goes to the shelf.
To the shelf.
Okay. I'm not sure we did that correctly in our first game.
I don't know because I did not place any wall pieces on our first game.
Got it.
So, let me see. This was here. So when you're placing here, you have to have that amount, plus you contribute 1 book. An amount and 1 book. Not only do you have to have 2 different books that you can place, you also have to have a supported class for these vertical walls. Also notice it's values 5 through 9. So it's really difficult to get that much. So whenever you place a wall piece, you can choose any one of the Sancori tiles that is in your row or column, and you can gain the bonus and flip it over. So if I had placed this little 1 piece down, I could choose either of these 2. I would flip it over. Hopefully it's one of the ones that I'm wanting, whether it's blue or purple there. I would flip it over after taking the favor bonus that's on the other side. So I'll pop up on the favor track, and I'm going to get 1 gold for each gold in that row or column. So if I'm here, I get 1, 2, 3, 4 gold. If I'm here, I'm only going to get 2 gold. Clearly, you also have to have a spot to put the gold. Can hold a maximum of 6. I believe that is it for the math section. It actually tells you here, when you place a wall, take the bonus, flip the tile, get some gold.
Yep.
So I like how it says all that right there. Finally, let's talk a little bit about the law area action that lets you place crowns on empty spaces in the law area. There are regions A through D that correspond to the 4 different disciplines. Placing a crown on the spot will give you that skill token. So I currently don't have any power on law. We have a shared of 1. I could take this crown and place it on one of these spots that cost 1. and that is going to get me a specific bonus token, which I will take from the stash over here. Now, if I've placed my crown here, my bonus token must go in the yellow area. Where is that bonus token? Right there. I must put it in any of these. It doesn't matter which, because whenever you get to claim these bonuses, you will get all of them in that section. And remember, that is whenever you are teaching that specific type of class. So if I have placed my crown over here, I have to put that bonus token over in the blue bonus area. So it really makes a difference where you put those crowns. Also, keep in mind that where you're putting these crowns are going to directly contribute to your majority scoring. Notice the majority scorings are going to be for the areas A, B, C, and D. A, B, and C, D in the astronomy area. A, B, C, D for the mosques. A, B, C, D for sides of the wall. A, B, C, D for the law areas. So, the first player to place a crown in one of these top two rows is going to get the Sankoré Madrasa tile. And remember, anytime you put these tiles in the Sankoré Madrasa, you are pushing the end game along. So if you want to push the end game along, that should be your goal, is to get more and more of these Sankoré Madrasa tiles filled up in the middle of the madrasa. So, notice that placing something in these bottom rows will cost you 1 gold. In the middle rows will cost you 1 salt. In this top rows, it will cost you 1 book. And the book that you are contributing, it says it costs you a book of any discipline. Let me see if you, I can't see if you have to put that into the library. I'm looking here. So when you're placing in the top row, you have to pay a book, and it must be a supported class. I believe it probably does go to the library, though it doesn't say here. It says in the rules, places the Sancori tile, then Sancori Madrasa takes its placement bonus. Finally, when placing a crown in the top row, you collect any prestige tokens and books. So occasionally you will have prestige tokens and books that are going to accumulate into the top areas. These are called the overflow areas. If you are to place in the top row of the corresponding section, you get all of those tasty books and prestige tokens. But you'll only ever have blue ones in the blue area, teal ones in the teal area, etc. I'm going to double check on that, Steph, while you entertain everybody. I'm going to make sure on that where it's talking about the knowledge and cost. I'm going to see where that is.
Yeah, I think you're probably right that it goes to the shelf.
And I don't remember if we played it that way or not.
Well, we took the red ribbon to mean we discard it because it's a base form of payment, but because the way you read the green one,
yeah, because the green one, it actually spells it out on that. Is that it's yes. Each space requires you to contribute to the library. Spaces in the horizontal walls cost 1 book of any discipline. So, yeah. You don't contribute books in the
because you gain
in this area because you're gaining books.
Right.
It's really interesting. If you look here in the middle, you'll notice you need to pay books in the math area that get you gold, which you can use in the astronomy area to get salt. Remember, gold gets you salt for trading post. Salt can be spent in the theology area to get you books, which can be spent in the math area to get you gold. So if you're ever short on anything, this tells you how to get it.
Vicious cycle.
And this is really a combination of everything.
And
So,
skills, because you get to upgrade your actions, basically.
Yes, and upgrading actions is always a good thing. Now, let's talk a little bit about what happens at the end of your turn. Now, remember what I said when at the end of your turn, if a book majority happens or a prestige majority happens, those are on all 4 of those student tracks, that if a book majority scoring happens, the books that are on each of these ABCD areas are going to be given out. So, if I had wall pieces in this section and I had more than Steph, I would get this purple book. Yay! That's pretty awesome. So, let's say Steph had this one, then she would get that. If we are tied, or nobody gets them because there's none over here, they're just going to go to the overflow area like that. So let me put those back. I'll make sure I had them in the right areas. Though it is sort of random, it shouldn't matter that much. Yeah, I know that was there. This is here. All right. And the same is going to be true with prestige scoring, except you're going to get the prestige tokens in these sections. Whoever has the most on each of these areas is going to get the prestige. Now, remember this little blue thing that we talked to you about? The only way you can get it is by placing over here. With this, it doesn't show it on the board, but those indeed correspond, at least as far as we can tell by the rules, they correspond only to this row and this column.
Yep.
However, the special thing with the blue spot is if there are any ties on that row or column, it automatically wins ties. So if there were tiles here, 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 and here, and each player had only one, this player would win the ties. But only for that row and column. There are no examples in the rule book that shows anything outside of that. Like for this spot here, this does not break ties because it's neither in the row nor the column.
Right.
So as far as we can tell with the rule book, that's how that goes.
Okay.
So that is majority scoring. You've got the majority scoring for however many mosques are in this area is going to get this book, or later this prestige, assuming these have been triggered, book and prestige. And remember, if nobody gets them, they go to the overflow area that matches the color.
In a 2-player game, it's more likely that that's going to happen.
Much more likely, yes.
Yeah. With 4 players, you're going to be fighting a little bit over regions.
Agreed. For wall pieces, that's fairly easy to figure out. A, B, C, and D. On this, it's really easy to figure out. It's A, B, C, and D. Hold on a second. Let me find out about the math. I think I've got that wrong. I think it's whoever has the highest wall piece.
Seat. Yeah, the highest seat.
Yeah. Sorry, I made a mistake with that. So let's throw out a couple of these here. I am on 6 and 5, and you were on 6 and 9 right here. Those pieces don't intersect. Let's fix that. Let's move this over here. So 6, 4 is 10, 9 and 5 is 14. But you're on the number 9 spot, so you would claim this number 6 tile right here.
Right.
Whatever is here.
At the end of the game.
At the end of the game, right. I'm just letting everyone know that I wonder if you've got this and I've got this, I think you get it. Because you're on this side of the wall.
Yeah.
I'm going to double check. Sorry, guys. This is where I wish that we did a little bit of editing of our videos. Unfortunately,
I'm just not sure what you're talking about right now. Are you
majorities.
Majority is just whoever has the highest number.
Is it? That's what I'm trying to check.
Or who has two walls. And I have one wall. If you had two walls.
Two walls, well, that's easy. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about singles.
Okay.
Talking about singles.
So
let me double check. When a scoring triggers for an area, whoever has the most pieces. If it's a tie, whoever's pieces on the highest numbered space will win the majority. So that is indeed the case. So if we were like this, you would win the majority.
Yep. Same thing with all these little flags out here.
Yes. Now that's what exactly where I was going to go with this. I'll give this back to you. These all have numbers on them. Not only are they knowledge, they are also used for the tiebreakers. 3, 4, 6, 8, 9. Whichever one's highest number is going to win ties for that. Like I said with this though, this is like the biggestest number, and it wins all ties.
At the very end of the game.
At the very end, because it's neither a row nor a column. You're correct. So with these, all of these have numbers in them. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9. So if you're in the highest up position and you have tied amounts, then you will win the ties. Finally, with the astronomy area, you'll notice that there are big regions, A, B, C, and D. And so those 4 regions will be used for those book and prestige majority scorings. And remember, if there's ever a place where nobody is, it's all going to go to overflow. The little flags, like I said, are the ones that is the tiebreakers. You'll notice in area D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for some reason, it's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I don't know why it goes from 5 to a 9. But whatever, as long as it's the highest flagged piece in the area in case there is a tie to be handled. So, at the end of your turn, you also check your storage limits. If you can't fit stuff in, that's when you will lose them, is at the end of your turn. Also, the number of prestige tokens you can score depends on the number of favor tokens you have. If you don't have space to store them, you have to choose the ones you want and discard the rest. The end of the game is triggered, as I mentioned, when the number 12 Sancori Madrasa tile has been placed into the Sancori Madrasa. If you need to place a Sancori tile after the end of the game, you can either gain the bonus and discard the token, or keep it in front of you with the other side facing up. Boom, that's instant prestige. That looks good. If there are any prestige majority scorings, because book isn't going to matter. If there are any of these prestige scorings that have not happened yet, do them now. All around the board. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I think we had 3 that didn't complete.
We had 3.
So.
I should mention that when that number 12 happens, we play equal numbers of turns. So since you were first player, it's going to go to the end of my turn.
Yeah.
Then we're going to handle those prestige.
Yeah.
Then we're going to assign Sancori Madrasa prestige. Remember when I was setting up that scenario where I had the 6 and the 4 and I have Steph's 5 and the 9. We're going to look at this, and whoever has the most wall pieces for each of those sections is going to take those individual tiles. Now, here's the catch. They have to be turned face down. They actually have to be prestige tokens.
To claim them, yeah.
To claim them. If it's like this, doesn't matter who has it because there's no prestige to claim here.
Right.
It's only if it's turned face down. So keep that in mind. In the case of a tie, as I mentioned, the highest value wall piece wins. If it's still a tie, whoever the player with the wall piece along a vertical wall wins because the vertical walls are always bigger than the horizontal, almost always bigger than the horizontal.
It's just harder to get them.
It's much harder to get. So, finally, you are going to determine how much each of these are worth. I should also mention this real quick. Notice as I build, I get knowledge from the school, but eventually I'm going to get these prestige token spots here. You don't actually get, as far as I'm aware, you do not get the prestige tokens for them.
No, I think they just count as symbols at the end of the game.
Because there is a scoring example here that is mentioning that there is one revealed prestige on the theology area of the player board. So I don't think that you actually get the tokens for these.
No.
The 5th and 6th and 7th spot all show a prestige token. In addition, that 7th spot has one of those flat double-sided tokens. Remember, if you're trying to push the end game, if you can get something to the top, you're going to get to put the prestige down.
And you also get a token for that. So.
And you do get a token for placing it on the board. Yes.
Yeah, so it's not terrible.
Oh, it's great. So, I wanted to mention that before I continued on with how much each of our prestige tokens is worth. Take a look at each individual row on the library. You might have a library that looks something like this. So this is a really small shelf, but it will illustrate our point exactly. Let's get another book in there too. I'll do this. So, whichever has the most books on this row is going to be worth 2 points for each prestige token. Currently, blue has the most. If I do this, blue would be worth 2 for this row of books. For the second place, it's going to be worth 1. Orange was placed before teal, so orange wins tiebreakers. Blue is worth 2, orange is worth 1. Now let's say we had a situation like this. Orange is on the second row, and it is the most numerous, so it's going to be worth an additional 2 points. Currently, blue is worth 2, orange is worth 3, teal is worth nothing at the moment.
Yep.
But if there had been another teal book placed here, blue would be worth 2, teal would be worth 1. See, blue got the 2 books in first, teal came in with the second book later, orange gets nothing for this row. Now, remember that other side that has big shelves and a small shelf? Basically, there's not a second and first place on those 6 shelves. It is a 2 point, 2 point, 2 point, 1 point, 1 point, and 1 point majority. And that's it for those 6 shelves. So keep that in mind. I believe that is yours. I think that's mine. Couple of blues.
I think that goes on that side.
This one goes here. This one here.
I think those 2 are switched. But that's
No,
fine.
I think it's there.
Okay.
You are going to get points for your prestige tokens in your storage, multiplied by how much each is worth for each of the 3 rows, or 6 rows if you're doing it that way. On your collected Sankoré tiles, if you manage to collect any of the Sankoré tiles, remember from all of the end game grid scoring on the wall here, on the 4 sections of your player board, on completed objective cards, which you'll notice, don't look, Steph, if I've completed these, I'm going to get these type of prestige tokens just in value. I don't actually get the prestige tokens. I don't need them at that point. And on graduation tiles, 1 to 4 of each of those. So that is final scoring. Highest score is the winner. In the case of a tie, whoever has the fewer favor tokens in prestige scoring area is the winner. If still tied, whoever has the most actual prestige tokens is the winner. There are solo mode rules that you can use, and the back page shows all of the different icons that you might encounter. Some of them will show graduating a student, where you graduate them like normal, but you don't contribute a book to the library. Some of them will allow you to, some of these icons will allow you to, as I mentioned before, create a new advanced class and do not contribute a book to the library. So I believe that is all the rules.
It's a lot of rules.
That's a lot of rules.
So
I gotta find out where these guys.
I don't think this is a midweight game. I think this is a fairly heavy game with lots going on, a lot of moving parts. So if you enjoyed this teach, check out the playthrough, which we're gonna do right about now.
And the link can be found underneath.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And if you want to check out more videos like this, hey, you're probably watching this on our YouTube channel at BoardGamerSteph. But if you want to come join us in the chat, you can join us on twitch.tv/BoardGamerSteph every Wednesday and Sunday night at 5 p.m. Central, where we stream 3 games or more every single stream. So come join us on Twitch, where we play
all the games. And we'll be right back.
Yeah, for those on Twitch, we're about to play this. Let's go.